Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss Doom: Annihilation, starring Amy Manson, Dominic Matham, Luke Allen Gale, Louis Mandalore, Clayton Adams, James Weber Brown, Gemma Moore, Gavin Brocker, Nina Bergman, and Archie Reese. None of them I would see again in other movies, and directed by Tony Giglio. Now, I have seen this once before I saw this again for this show, and I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. I'm not looking forward to revisiting it, and you're about to find out why. Let's get into it. In an asteroid, some scientists, led by Dr. Malcolm Betruger, opens the gates so that a Dr. Barnes can make it to Nevada as he turns into a monster. And I thought to myself, what the fuck kind of opening is that? I had no idea what was going on whatsoever. Then we get to the awakening of Lieutenant Joan Dark on the Nola, which is the name of the ship. She's as well as a group of other badass Marines. For example, Captain Hector Savage, which is a weird last name in general, and in a movie like this, Private Stephen Winslow, Private Carly Corbin, Private Rance Verdugo, Sergeant Harry what's his name? Friesen? Yeah, Friesen. And Sergeant Logan Akuo and Dr. Bennett Stone, who dated Joan for 6 months, 10 years before the movie begins. And these people are bad, as they were the first time, as I don't know these characters and I don't know these actors and I don't care whether they live or die at the end of the day, because they're awful characters just like the last time, but this is more unacceptable. Joan let a terrorist go, as we learn later in the film, and everyone thinks she's a screw up, and she takes her anger out on herself. And is this the greatest acting of all time? Hell to the motherfucking no. Their assignment is to go to the asteroid where they can find Dr. Petruger. And as they arrive, Joan and Dr. Stone are needed to get the doors open as he joins in on the mission. And I don't exactly get their mission, as it's very poorly told, too. They get in the asteroid and expect an attack after Dr. Stone tells them some rather bad news, as they get to level 2 and search for something horrific, as there's nobody in there so far, and finds a dead body and finds some writing from a foreign language not on Earth written in blood, while the guy piloting the ship abandons his position to get a drink, as something bad is about to happen, which is such bad writing. Just stick to your goddamn position, but nope, he had to go get a drink. As Daisy, the computer, loses communication with the soldiers, and they see someone eating some person on the ship and kills a soldier. And another soldier encounters civilians as another soldier kills off a creature. And this is not what I remembered from advertisements of Doom 3. I'm sorry, this is just not acceptable. And not the same style as the last movie. And again, nothing makes sense here like last time. I'm having so much trouble following this plot, and honestly, I couldn't make sense of it either. Is there one in this movie? Because I'm not sensing there is one. So I'm asking myself, what the fuck is going on in this movie? And I mean, there's zombies and soldiers getting killed while on combat, but am I entertained? Hell no. One of the soldiers picks up Dr. Petruger as Daisy the robot goes AI on the pilot's ass, and creatures kill the pilot, which deservedly so, as Dr. Petruger explains what he and other scientists are doing in their lab, called the Gate. And can I just say it now? This movie is a load of shit. The writing in this makes no fucking sense. I don't like the characters anyways, as there's no plot to follow. And out of all this, I get nothing from this movie. And I'm checked out of this movie just like the last time. And I've got 40 more minutes to go. They bring back Dr. Petruger on board, and they find the pilot, and no one is not in the position. And he's dead, and the monster attacks the ship and rips people to pieces, and Gore As a nurse healing Dr. Betruger named Veronica is frightened out of her mind, and she annoyed the hell out of me throughout the scenes she's in. And Joan gets sucked into by the monster to their world, which we'll see much later in the film. At this point, I wanted this to please just end, just freaking end. The remaining soldiers and doctors head to the gate, and before the gate opens, Dr. Petruger realizes who Joan is as he torments her as they get the gate opened. Suddenly, Veronica gets stabbed by Dr. Petruger, and as he escapes, he unlocks the soldiers to die by the monsters. And it kills almost everyone except for Joan and Dr. Stone, and Veronica gives them a key to stop Dr. Petruger, and they go into a room where they grab the big fucking gun 9000 and go back to getting Dr. Petruger. And before they get in the elevator, Dr. Stone gets killed, and Joan uses the BFG to shoot the zombies, and we get to level 4 and find a bunch of scientists are killed, and she catches up to Petruger as Dr. Stone is a zombie attacking Joan, and she has no choice but to shoot him. And it takes her a while to realize that as she feels sad about it, and I just don't care at this point. Dr. Petruger almost shoots Joan with her own gun as she takes it back and shoots him, and he gets up and forces her to a planet with the monsters that we briefly saw earlier in the film. And the head monster appears to, well, as it turns out, it's Petruger, says humans are a parasite of their kind if it was a mistake to bring them to life, and almost kills her until she shoots the main monster. As she gets back to Earth, as she asks for a drink, and the scientists think she's a creature and isn't well as they don't shut down the gate, which is a bullshit climax as well as a bullshit ending. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 1.4 out of 10. I wanted out of this movie 40 minutes before this was over, as I don't like the characters and I don't understand the plot, as the story makes no fucking sense, and it had a bullshit ending, as my last critique what this movie should be. What a load of shit. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for this Doom and retrospective, and until we ever get another one, which I hope not, game over.